I've been vegan for about 10 years, vegetarian for a long time before that. And it was recently Rosh Hashanah, which is New Year's for the Jewish people. And I decided for the first time to make a cultural exception. I actually tore away at challah, which is bread that has eggs as an ingredient. So I wanted to know, do you have any similar, exceptions that are cultural or otherwise?
Yes, I have exceptions. I don't do anything culturally, like anything that has to do with my culture in terms of exceptions around veganism. But what I do have is I have the don't ask, don't tell when I'm traveling. So sometimes I don't know, like at an airport or I'm somewhere where I don't speak the language that's on the packaging, or I'm in a restaurant where there is some kind of, barrier around the communication. And in those places, it's just really a don't ask, don't tell. I'll just do my best and kind of assume, hopefully, that everything will be vegan. So yeah, if I'm going to be like totally honest, I think that's an exception on my end. Around straight edge, I don't do anything that's an exception, and that has a lot to do with not even whether or not I think that's a big deal for people, but more so, it just has to do with like my own background with like substance abuse and knowing that I don't want to even roll the dice in that kind of thing. I want to go a little deeper though on your question. Like things like veganism, straight edge, like whatever discipline that people have. And I'm talking about things that are quite often considered part of the punk world, well, specifically straight edge, but veganism can be connected to that. I really encourage people to consider like if you're dedicated to something like straight edge or veganism or vegetarianism or whatever pursuit, also recognizing like there's just like the nuance of being a human being in the world. So Paul, what you just mentioned is like a cultural exception. Man, that's awesome. Good for you. Like I think that's cool that you could give yourself that kind of liberty. And someone might be listening from a compassion perspective for veganism, where it would just be like, well, no, like you shouldn't do that. Well, okay, that's cool for you. For Paul, for you specifically, I think like a compassion part of it is also being connected to your culture and your people in the moment and all that. And life isn't like black and white and it always got these clear like yes or no things. The older I get, the more I'm like, damn, like life is so complex. I think it's really good to give yourself the opportunity to flex with some of your most profound beliefs if it's doing something that is good for you and good for other people and creates very, very little harm for for great benefit. And for something like this, it's like, yeah, like, you have a really good reason for doing it. For anyone who might have a hard take on it, let me know, where I'm wrong in the comments, what you think.